Later in the episode, a lot of people remember a black tip at the very end. He never had a black tip at the end.
Did they fuck up on that Detective Pikachu? Because I'm pretty sure they put a black tip on that tail.
You ever finished the Berenstein Bears?
Like 30 years ago.
I know you like talking about, like joking about it at work.
Yeah, because I get annoyed when people are like, oh, what are you listening to? I'm just like, Berenstein Bears.
Well, it's actually the Berenstain Bears.
Berenstein Bears. How you spell that?
Berestain. Not EIN, but
AIN. Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
Ah.
A lot of people misspell it. They think it was spelled with an E. Like a lot of people swear that they saw it spelled with an E.
So stain.
Well, I brought that up because I wanted to talk about the Mandela Effect today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you brought your homework.
I got a whole bunch of them, actually.
All right. Well, welcome to today's podcast.
I'm CRollur.
And I'm Willy. And we got today's guest, my son, that he really wanted to be on it because he knows a little bit about the Mandela Effect.
Yeah.
On today's episode of CRollur and Willy, we'll be talking about the Mandela Effect. And consequently, since a lot of people believe that the Mandela Effect was caused by alternate timelines, I think we should talk about something like that too, along with like time travel and shit.
What is Mandela Effect?
The Mandela Effect refers to a situation where a large amount of people believe in an event that never happened. Or I guess you could say like people share a collective memory of something that never happened.
No, it's because I think what it is people, they choose to believe something that, isn't like that. Like, for example, Star Wars, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi never even said on episode 4, may the force be with you, Luke. No, he said the force will be with you always. He never said
I got another one from that franchise.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father.
No, he said, I am your father.
Yeah, he just said, I am your father.
But people wanted to believe that,
Yeah, he never said Luke.
So, you know what's funny? All these people were buying all these like fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi shirts that said, may the force be with you. He never said that one time in that movie. But why do you think people chose to believe that?
Well, I have this theory, and I have a couple of examples of it, of like it's misremembered or like, because a lot of times it's misremembered facts, like easily swapped out things like the Berenstein Bears versus the Berenstain Bears, where people just swap one letter in the thing and then that pops in their head as how it was correctly spelled. But there are other examples, like as in the whole peanut butter of Jif and Jiffy. People remember it as Jiffy, but it's just Jif.
Yeah, I know it's Jif.
Yeah.
I
feel like a lot of people were confusing it with its competitor, Skippy. And they were going from Skippy and Jif to Jiffy.
I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
Then a lot of people, like, for Kit Kat, a lot of people think that there's like a dash in between Kit Kat. No, it's just Kit Kat, one word.
Yeah. There's another one. I'm sure our friend Nikki would be interested in this one, which is a lot of people believe that in the music video for Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears, that she was wearing a headset.
No,
she never wore a headset.
She never wore a headset in the music video.
Yeah.
Never.
Oh, yeah. That's funny because you remember that movie with Tom Cruise dancing, like whatever in his underwear, his white tighties?
Yeah, he also was never wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he was never wearing sunglasses.
But I think, going back to the Britney Spears one, I think the reason why people remember it is because she is iconically known for wearing a headset on stage.
Right, in concert and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't wear it in the music video. People just picture that. And then they made the doll for Oops, I Did It Again for children and stuff.
And she had a fucking headset.
Yeah. So it cemented itself as the alternate because the doll was made. And there's another one that has to do with music like that, which is Queen and We Are the Champion.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the song on the studio album, it just says, because we are the champion. And then it just ends.
And people think of the world.
Yeah. They never put of the world at the end of that song.
Yeah. They never did.
It was said twice in the song that I'm aware of. At least when I was researching it, I heard it twice. And then every live version I've ever come across has had it at the end.
Oh, remember how I was saying that Star Wars thing? I don't mean to get off topic with the whole Britney Spears thing, but I was saying something about like Obi-Wan Kenobi never said, may the force be with you. But that has been said in that movie. I don't want people mistaking it. It has been said in the movie, but it was from the point where they were planning the attack, on those like fucking camel walking things.
But it was Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan Kenobi never said it, but Han Solo said it at one point. So
that's another one where I think people are taking two different scenarios,
right,
different scenes,
and like
combining them into one memory.
Right, and that's what you were saying about Britney Spears. People remember Britney Spears being on stage with that headset.
A lot of people. That's the thing is a lot of people think that the Mandela effect is like a shift in our timeline where something happened, and I think a lot more of it has to do with us misremembering things based on like,
or you want to remember it the way you want to know it, right?
Well, we have a habit like of misremembering things. We remember things, and we go back to memory. Every time we remember something, we rewrite the memory when we recall it.
Right. It
changes over time in our own head.
Or what if it's a time skip?
If it is a shift in time, like
it's like a record player, skipping,
Yeah.
And then you don't remember that because it skipped in your memory.
That sounds a lot like the Fruit Loops debacle.
Yeah, everyone thought that.
People think it went from Fruit Loops spelled with fruit spelled with 2 O's to properly spelled fruit, like the word fruit, and then back to the 2 O's. Like it skipped back and forth.
Yeah.
It never did. It was always one. It was
always fruit.
Yeah.
Loops.
I mean, there's like a lot of things too. Like, there's a lot of bands, right? Too. Like, we're talking about music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, like the band Ramones, right? It's not the Ramones, but people remember them as the Ramones, but it's just Ramones.
Well, I think the reason why people would remember it that way is because you would announce them as the Ramones.
The proper way, like, if you're going to like introduce them on stage, you'd be like, all right, we have this person playing, this band playing, and we got Ramones. But they're not going to do that. They're going to be
the
Ramones.
I will go with something a little more relevant to modern day. For a second, you know what Pikachu looks like, right?
Yeah, with the.
Explain
to us.
What
color is the tip of his tail?
Black.
It is not black.
What is not?
It's not
black.
It is
all yellow. Like there's a little bit of brown off of like his rear end coming up, but it fades into yellow. A lot of people remember a black tip at the very end. He never had a black tip at the end.
Did they fuck up on that Detective Pikachu? Because I'm pretty sure they put a black tip on that tail.
Yeah, I swear they did.
Now, I don't know about that one.
I'll look it up.
No.
How?
No, what? Are you fucking kidding? No.
There's a small bit. There's a small bit.
Look,
down.
Noah, look at that.
There is brown at the base of his tail, like usual, but the tip of his tail is still straight up yellow.
Wow.
Okay. Why do I imagine him having a black tip on the end of the tail? I don't know.
Maybe because we keep on.
See, this is what people remember.
Maybe it's because our imagination sees it as being bland, and so we just add things in our, color things in.
What we see. I don't know how it works.
I have a theory.
I don't know how it works, but we keep on seeing the things that ain't even
my
there.
Theory,
right.
Like the Monopoly man. He never had a monocle.
That was on Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Ace Detective. Remember when that old man wearing that monocle? And he said, "This is a Monopoly guy." The Monopoly guy never wore a monocle.
Yeah, no, he never.
It's always been without a monocle.
Yeah,
but I see that's one I can't really explain too much because I don't know of any references that would make the Monopoly man look like he was wearing.
But maybe in an alternate universe, maybe he was wearing a monocle.
And people don't think he
is
had
it called Monaco or
monocle?
Monocle.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's lots of things that can change in one universe.
Yeah, because alternating, like maybe like in an alternate universe, you don't wear glasses,
Or you could be like a complete different person and
they've proven that it's true on Rick and Morty.
Do you know the quote about a box of chocolates in life?
Yeah.
What is it?
All right. Life is like a box of chocolates.
It is not.
Life is a box of chocolates.
No, life was
like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, something simple like that.
He was referring to the past. He was referring to something his mother said.
Gotcha. And that's a Mandela effect, huh?
Yep.
A lot of quotes are mixed up, though. A lot of quotes can be mixed up.
Well, I got another quote if you want.
I'll take quotes all day.
Yeah, keep going with it.
Okay. Beam me up, Scotty.
Who?
Beam me up, Scotty from Star Trek.
Beam up, Scotty. Oh, yeah. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, me too.
Kirk never said those words in that order. He has said other things, like beam us up, or like beam us up, Scotty, or Scotty beam us up, or
There's a lot of movies where people get mixed up on it.
Yeah.
I also got another one. It's a song, but from his show, Mr. Rogers. How does the theme song go?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Nope.
Beautiful day for a neighbor.
Nope.
But you-
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
Oh,
No.
okay. Oh, gotcha. Hey, okay. I got a quote for you. All right. So what that freaking Saul puppet thing say when they capture the people?
I want to play a game.
You got it right. I want to play a game. It's not let's play a game. It's I want to play a game.
It's very simple, Kyle.
I do want to talk about some of the two of the most iconic Mandela effects. One of them being the original, the one that it's named after.
Who originally brought up the Mandela effect?
Well, the original thing was that a lot of people thought that Nelson Mandela died while in prison, but he didn't die until way after his release in 2013.
Huh.
Oh, no shit.
A lot of people thought that he died in prison, and he did not. So the fact that people were remembering him die in prison when he never died in prison, and he was still alive, and people were like, I thought he was dead, and I thought he was. No, he didn't die until 2013.
It's just the Mandela effect. It kind of just plays in your mind, and makes you.
That's actually why it was named that, because it was because of Nelson Mandela's supposed death. And then another one that's really, really iconic is the Tank Man.
Oh yeah. Everyone thought that he got ran over by a bunch of tanks, but no, he just walked away.
Yeah, he just stood in front of a bunch of tanks and was pretty much, theoretically, it's a suicidal move, but
Right.
he did actually walk away.
Eventually, after like a stand up with tanks, after long periods of time, he eventually turns around and walk away. Then the whole JFK assassination, they never had only 4 people in the car. There was 6 actually.
What?
Yeah, there was 6 people.
I thought there was 4. Okay.
I got one from a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
You know the Mona Lisa?
Yes.
Do you remember her smiling?
Nope, never smiled.
That she smiled. I
Nope.
believe.
We got both sides here.
She smiled.
No. I mean, she's got this slight grin, but she's not smiling.
Oh, I thought you meant like a.
It's like
A lot
basically
of
she had like
a lot of people see it and they're like, I thought she had like a really good big smile. They're like, no,
It's
it was
a
a,
smirk.
no.
But,
Remember how last episode we are talking about like how I was like I was playing like these old games I remember as a childhood in my childhood.
Yeah.
And I would say it wasn't as good as I remembered, and I tried to play again, and I was like kind of disappointed. Do you think that could be like a Mandela effect too?
No, I don't know if that's a Mandela effect.
Yeah, you should.
Because like in my mind, it's like the greatest game ever.
It is I think it is a slightly modified memory, but it's not the Mandela effect because it's not a mass memory of something that didn't happen. It's
yeah,
more
but
or less,
there's like
it's
lot
more
of,
or less a memory of it being better than you thought it was.
no, but there's a lot of people that said that that you like people that played Mario 64 and haven't played it since. And they would like you can have a conversation with someone about it, and they're like, "Oh man, that game was so badass." But I guaranteed, if
I mean, I guess it could be slightly argued that way, but I don't think it quite follows the definition of
but
it.
it's pretty close to it though.
But about that, we did get a comment, and a lot of people said that the person said that your problem might be that you were playing it on just going from like the old system to a high def TV.
Oh,
That affects the graphics.
that does affect it. Yeah, it does.
That does affect, because if you actually
And I have a lazy eye.
If you properly upscale those graphics, they do look better.
No shit.
But if you just go from the old version to a big screen TV, it doesn't look as good.
Huh.
I
Just
got you.
just a reference back to another episode.
Well, I'm glad you told me that now. Another question I need to ask.
Yeah.
So people that quit smoking, right? They're like, do you think that could be a Mandela effect? Like, oh, I remember a time a cigarette used to taste good, but I smoke it now, it tastes like shit.
I think that's an actual change in mentality, and also your taste buds change over the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that because most people smoke through their mouth. I don't know anybody that inhales it through their nose.
I done that and it sucks. Don't ever try that at home, kids.
So it might. It also would be reflected off of your taste buds and stuff like that.
You know, you got like a sensor like underneath your eyelid that causes you to like, cause tears. Try smoking through that thing. You're gonna get like a head rush real quick.
Have you ever remembered something that had never happened?
Deja vu?
In your life?
The deja vu?
Yeah, but
No, deja vu actually happened at one point in your life.
Yeah, but it never. I'm talking. Wait, let me finish. But it never happened before.
Something that like you don't remember happening, but when you ask people, it never actually happened.
Yeah,
I do. I have had that happen to me. I have a vivid memory of like my childhood home and the living room being completely ripped of carpet and floorboards. My parents have never refloored the house in that old. There was never a case where the carpet was up, let alone the actual floorboard.
You think it was because of a dream or?
It could be a dream.
yeah. Some dreams are too real, so you keep on thinking it's real, but it ain't real. It never happened.
Oh yeah,
before.
I always have dreams about my old house growing up, but that house is torn down.
Yeah, I had a dream that someone was outside my window, but it never happened. Never.
Huh?
That one's a bit creepy.
Yeah, I'll punch that guy.
I mean,
And then my mom just came out of nowhere and just beat that guy up.
I would say mine is a little
crazy.
bit creepy that I remember something happening to a house that never happened, but you're dreaming and imagining things that are extremely creepy. People outside your window. Ooh.
Yeah,
I would be freaked out.
Yeah,
I was like, well,
I'm glad I have like no imagination whatsoever.
Oh, I have lots of imagination.
It's bad enough I had
I'm crazy.
a sleep paralysis demon.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
I had a sleep paralysis.
Dude, they were saying that like there are people that can like leave their bodies while sleeping.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they can like travel and
See,
shit.
I don't know if those things actually happen. I just know that I was in a state where I felt like I was awake, but I could not move.
Hey, guys.
And it felt like there was a pressure pushing down on me.
Guys, I had a sleep paralysis, I think. It was at my mom's house. I had my door open, and guess what? I was asleep, but I wasn't. Guess what I saw?
What?
I literally saw this tall guy with a very long neck staring at me with no eyes, just big eye sockets. No teeth.
Yeah, that's Slenderman. Don't worry about it.
No. He has like eye sockets. It's like very, he has a big mouth.
I think you're watching too many of those.
You're watching too many scary movies, buddy.
Too many of those.
Did he look at you like this?
No.
Anyway, yeah, I want to get back to this because I got one that I think everybody would probably agree with me on. How do you spell Febreze?
F-A-B-R. F-A-B. F-R-E-E-Z-E. Febreze.
Well,
dude, I'm a bad
both
speller.
of you have failed the actual Mandela effect, although you spell it with an A.
I buy it all the time,
It's not spelled
dude.
with an A at all, but
I buy it all the time.
it's Febreze, but you would swear that it was spelled with two E's for the breeze part, but it's only one E.
Yeah.
What?
It is not EE.
People think it's free breeze.
No, Febreze.
Oh no, it's not for breeze.
To be honest, the way it's spelled is Febreze.
What the fuck?
Also,
People not look at stuff when they buy shit.
Oreos. When you get the double stuff, how do you spell that?
I don't buy double stuff.
O-R-E-O D-U-B-B-L-E-S-T-U-F-F.
Nope.
What?
You lose.
There's only one F.
Oh,
There's only one F.
There's only one
stuff.
I mean,
I would play games.
you know, like a lot of people get confused with that Target sign, because they think it's like multiple like targets on a thing, but it's just like basic, like dot, red.
Circle.
Yeah. But I can see why people get confused about it because they used to have like back in the 60s, like the multiple, red and white, like a Target, But nowadays, basic, Target is just like red, white, dot, or something like that. Then like people forget that, on Starbucks that there's a thing above the crown. I think it's a coffee or some shit. Or no, it's a star. Yeah, it's a star above the crown.
Honestly, I don't get Starbucks enough to even know. If
Yeah,
I
I didn't even know that.
But
that's where you get the star.
With all this
you get
stuff,
the
like,
buck.
as we were talking about earlier, like I think the Mandela effect is caused by just straight up like misremembering stuff combined with remembering multiple things into one item. Like we said with like the oops, I did it again.
Right. I think too.
GIF Skippy thing.
I think too, because when you listen to music, you can't catch every word that they're saying.
Oh, there's a lot of misheard lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people hear like a certain word that's in that song, and you're like, oh, okay, that's how it is.
That's
a
how
lot
it
of
is.
people. Yeah, a lot of people think that there is that's actually caused by a split in the timeline where we're remembering things the way it was in this timeline.
Right.
We're at this timeline down here.
And that's why I said earlier, the Mandela effect, I think people want to see things the way
they want to see it.
Because like with the John Lennon, they had a music video where he's in a white room and Yoko Ono was wearing like a white dress or whatever. And a lot of people thought that John Lennon was wearing all white too. No, he was wearing black.
What?
Then Fonzo, everyone thought Fonzo was wearing a black leather jacket. He was not wearing a black leather jacket. It was a dark brown leather jacket.
Okay.
And a lot of people thought because the movie Grease, John Travolta playing, whatever. And a lot of people seen John Travolta wearing that black leather jacket, being a T-bird. Everyone's got, thought that because it reflected on Fonzo, and they believe that Fonzo always wore a black leather jacket. Other movies can reflect on memory too.
Oh, okay. I got one that I got an example of that. Was it Shazam?
Exactly. Yeah.
Starring Sinbad.
Everyone thought that was Shaquille O'Neal.
No, here's the thing. That movie never existed.
Oh shit.
There was one called Kazam starring
Kazam, that's what it was.
And Sinbad did star in other movies, which reinforced the idea that he would be in a movie named Shazam. So people are remembering Kazam, remembering Sinbad in movies, and they're combining the two, and they're reflecting off of each other, creating this idea of a movie that never existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Sinbad was never a genie in a movie named Shazam.
Okay, so yeah, I got fooled right there.
There are tests out on the internet where you can do it, where it's usually those images ones where it shows this or this, and you have to pick the one that's actually factually correct, like the Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes and Fruit Loops. And I think you were trying to mention earlier before we started the podcast about Fruit of Loom.
Yeah.
Fruit of Loom has just fruit. It never had the little
basket and all that stuff.
I forgot what it's called. There's an actual name for that thing, but yeah,
it's like one of those like things, old school like style,
There's a word for that, but it essentially, yes, it's a basket.
It's a fucking basket.
There are quizzes out there to see how well you're fooled by the Mandela effect.
It's like one of those things. It's like a mental disease that spreads within like other people, like, and that's why I believe
this is also a phenomenon that you can see in meme culture, which is that an idea can get spread virally from person to person.
Exactly.
So somebody misremembers it, and then somebody tells somebody else that, they'll remember it differently.
How many times you see me spread rumors that isn't true?
A lot.
You a lot. Then again, you spread them about yourself mostly.
I can do it myself because I don't need nobody. Once if you're loud enough, people will believe it.
Now, I do want to talk about the phenomenon that a lot of people believe causes the Mandela effect, which is a shifting timeline.
No, I think what it is I think it's the what's it called? The solar when the sun like shoots like a radiation of solar, like I don't know what it's called. It's
solar flare.
Solar flare. I think a solar flare does play problems in people's mentality.
We got a lot of those happening right now, and it's supposed to be affecting our satellites and our electric grids.
But it does affect people's bodies too, because how they say full moon, people get a little aggressive and get moody.
I
It
actually
is true because I worked midnights. I know
actually
that.
believe that shit. I look at the moon on my way. A lot of times the moon is still hanging in the
Yeah,
sky.
Nate CRollur starts growing hair and it's like, oh.
No. But I do look at the moon before I go into work, since a lot of times, like particularly from like fall to like early spring, it's still dark. It's still dark out when we go to work. I'll look at the moon and be like, oh shit, today's gonna be crazy.
It does, isn't it? Like, for a fact, when there's a full moon, everyone has a negative attitude. I know this because I worked midnights for 9 years, and I do look at that, and I knew it was going to be a bad day, and it always was with a full moon. A lot of times at the Mandela Effect, it could be that people are leaving their bodies and time traveling at some
I don't
point.
know about leaving their bodies and time traveling, but I do.
Alternate universe. I'm sorry.
I do believe. Well, I don't know if I believe, but I do understand the idea of a universal shift where something happened and we are living in a different reality than we remember.
All right, so let's say there's another you in a alternate universe, right?
Yes.
And something shifted where you're getting the memory of another you in an alternate universe, and that's
it's part of the multiverse theory.
Multiverse
Which
theory.
is where every decision you make or that somebody else makes shifts the timeline a little bit. And certain shifts cause a bunch of people to remember something that happened in a different timeline.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Which, by the way, is one of the types of timelines for time travel.
Time travel?
Yeah. Branching / multiverse timelines.
Well, they were saying that these what do they call it? Dark holes, whatever, that could be a form of time travel. False. That thing will crush you into an endless, loop. You're not getting out of it.
I don't know. There are speculations by scientists that if you approach it at the right angle, you could actually
at a right angle.
At the right angle, not a right angle.
You just don't swim right into it. All right. So you just got to be at like 190 degrees.
If you hit it properly, you could travel through time.
It's something like Fortnite to me. You got to land exactly here.
But here's the thing: most scientists believe that we could travel forward in time, but traveling back in time is hard.
Yeah,
because forward in time, gravity wells and going the speed of light. Technically, by scientific formulas, are possible time travel, because the closer to the speed of light you go, like the faster you go, the slower reality is for you.
Your body.
So
ages.
let's say that you left Earth for like a year.
And that's what I was about to say.
At the speed of light, and then you came back at the speed of light. Time for you would have taken 2 years, whereas the rest of the universe would have been way longer.
Yeah, exactly.
So you would be in the future, but you would only have seen 2 years.
Exactly. I was about to say that. They say that people they go out into space, right? And they come back. Let's say I launched you out into space somehow I got my, degree in like engineering for, rocket science or whatever. And I launched you up in the space, in a pod, and I left you up there, for 10 years, and you came back. You're not going to age as quick as what I did.
Provided I was going faster than you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's proven that it is true that it works that way.
The only actual proof we have is the theory of relativity, and then they sent a clock that was on Earth and a clock that was in a plane, and the one that was on a plane was slightly slower than the one that was on Earth.
Gravity is the biggest thing that causes aging.
Well, that's another way of time travel, is by gravity.
There was a TikTok video that showed, this guy's house camera. This guy literally walked into his shed. He called the cops. The cops didn't find nothing. Then, 3 days later, a freaking old man that looked just like that guy is walked across his yard and looked right at the camera, knowing that he was spotted.
I think it's fake.
I don't know, man.
It's
looked
fake,
real.
Dad.
It looked real.
It's fake.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on video that's like that. I've also seen photographs that people claim people from the early 1900s had modern day cell phones,
or a digital wristwatch that wasn't invented yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this?
I think that the things about what he said about the video was probably fake, and So is the fate for the 1900s with the
Well,
iPhone
you
and
can
stuff.
blame AI for that, for editing. So
We were briefly talking about the multiverse theory, where different things like changes, like slight changes, could change like and have different possibilities of creating a multiple universes.
before you ask me this question, let me ask you a question.
Yes, say it.
If you died, well, not here, but let's say another you died in the multiverse, right? Would you gain power from it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't believe that in the slightest. I don't
Do you
know.
think it'll get split into other yous?
I don't believe that in the slightest. Like if you, I know that there is either like a book or movie out there or TV show or something where that's a thing. I don't think that no matter what type of multiverse you believe in, I don't believe that that transitive property of energy would transfer to other you.
Other yous.
Other yous,
That's the only way I
bros.
could say it. other versions of you, like, but yeah, the branch that's multiverse theory is one of the ways of time travel. Like if you go back in time and you change something, it creates a whole new version of reality.
Ah, okay.
And if you
So,
change something else, it creates a different version of that.
what do you
reality.
think about the multiverse? You think that could be real?
Yeah, it could be. Most likely, yeah. There's a whole big.
There's a lot of
There's a big universe.
I
There must be
if-
other species of humans too.
if there is a multiverse, I don't believe it's the multiple versions of us. I believe it's
Different people.
I think it's multiple versions of our own universe. I don't think our universe would be the only one and that it would just be multiple versions of it. I think there'd just be different universes.
So you don't think it's just going to be a giant mirror that, where
I don't
decisions...
think every one of our choices changes into a different universe. Like,
Yeah, I'm with
my
you.
decision to come to the podcast today versus not come to the podcast today isn't going to create a new universe. All right. But there is probably a different universe out there with different people making a podcast.
Yeah.
And they're probably talking about a different type of multiverse theory that we don't even know, we can't even fathom.
Yeah, because they're so far, far away.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
There is
This is our turf. So there's like lots of universes. There's like a big universe out there, right? Do you believe there are more Earths and like lots of creatures that we don't even know
I
about?
definitely believe that there is more viable planets for creatures like us, intelligent life.
Yeah.
I don't think we're even the most intelligent out there.
Yeah, there
What
could
if
be-
the multiverse, like planets that don't have humans, let's say it's like a bunch of reptiles, like Nate could be like a
Chameleon.
chameleon. Yeah.
Chameleon.
And then I could be like a freaking like,
Frog or something.
oh, that's fucked up.
There are also other versions of timelines, like the closed loop timeline, which is where if you go back in time, it doesn't change anything. You just, whatever you changed already happened, which is the most iconic one that I can think of is from Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Because if you remember, like Harry and Hermione go back in time.
Yeah.
I mean, Hermione's been doing it the whole time to skip around classes, so she could take more than one class at a time.
Boo.
But her and Harry,
That's cheating.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
Her-
she's cheating.
How else do you think she became the smartest one?
Because she's ugly.
No, she's not ugly.
I'm kidding.
You like her.
People are gonna go after you for that one.
Ha ha.
So anyway, no, like they go back and they save multiple people. Like they save what is it? Buckbeak. They also save Sirius Black from going back to prison
Why would
And
they
then
do
he died
that?
anyways.
Why would they
in
do
like
that?
the fifth one.
because he was innocent.
Yeah, because
He was set up.
he was set up by I think Voldemort or something.
There's a scene which actually proves it's a closed loop, which is where Harry's getting attacked by Dementors,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I saw my father." And it turns out that he
And that
saved
was
him.
actually him, and he saved himself. So
Yeah.
it kept on repeating.
I want to watch all of
Because-
them now.
Yeah, you gotta watch all of them. That's your
Because
homework
it
now,
turns out
boy.
that him going back in time saved himself because he was the one that had to perform the spell to get rid of the Dementor.
What the hell, dude? I'm so confused.
There's another one that's not as common as like a closed loop or a branched loop.
Can you stop time?
You stop time? That's an interesting one, and I don't know how it would be done, but it's an interesting.
Yeah, you're like, is there possible that you can like? Well, it's going to take like a.
Personally, I don't believe in it because I believe that if you actually stop time, anything that you tried to interact with would be immovable.
But you think if you can stop time for like 5 seconds, that's time travel?
No.
It would be. However, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You would just be stuck in your body for 5 seconds while nothing happened.
Oh,
Like
that would
this?
suck.
The closest thing you could get to that is something like the Flash or Quicksilver,
Yeah. Where it's
where
like,
you're super fast.
Yeah.
so
if you
everything
actually-
is like a little slow. Like
But for me, the whole stop time thing, it's literally everything stopped, including your own body. But even if you somehow were excluded, you go to touch something, it is locked in time.
haha, suckers.
So what are you going to do?
You go pick up like Starbucks coffee, it's stuck in time. So you can't. Okay, I got
Okay,
you.
just touch your worst enemy. Boom, he's gone.
No, it
He's
don't work
paused
that way.
forever, right?
Then when time starts back up, you're like, something touch me, you know?
No, you.
Oh, my face hurts. Oh,
There's one version of this like timeline loop thing that rarely happens, which is the erase timeline. You start to see it in Back to the Future, where Marty goes back and he messes with the time and it erases him from existence. But a lot of that actually goes with overwritten timeline instead of, because in this one, like whatever you do erases the original timeline you're from, and it creates a new timeline. A lot of times they go into a different one, which is called the overwritten timeline, which is that the timeline's still there, it's just different.
Oh, like
what if the government's erasing our memories?
hey, Men in Black, get him!
Man, you're
Look
going
at
off
this.
a lot of speculations here.
Yeah, stop that! They're coming. The Men in Black coming.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah, Will Smith or something will come out and be like, "Look at this."
Yeah, exactly. That's
He's-
what I was getting at.
Yeah, that was it. Hey, you saw Godzilla? Hey, you saw. Oops.
Oh, I wasn't going that far. You know, I'm not gonna say Godzilla doesn't
I'm just,
exist.
it's
but
just a
I'm pretty-
joke, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty
the
sure he don't.
Godzilla is a joke, but
No, Godzilla's a Loch Ness monster.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot? No, he's real. He's up in Canada. So I think people who actually look for Bigfoot around the U.S. are idiots because you can find him in Canada.
Yeah, wait,
If
Men
you
in
say
Black.
so. This goes back partially to the multiverse theory, but I wanted to bring up like the butterfly effect because it definitely
Okay.
related to time travel. The reason why I'd say it's partially related with multiverse theory is because the butterfly effect is basically like a situation or action that seems unimportant that has catastrophic events that happen in the future.
Yep.
And it definitely affects the multiverse theory because, like, the idea that something you do, the minor detail, the minor choice you make, could have catastrophic events for the future,
Yeah, like
creating a totally different timeline, a totally different universe.
The butterfly effect is proven that it could happen.
so, like if I just open a can of Fanta,
If
and
you
No,
actually-
we're not
I-
talking. We're not talking something like that small.
Here's the thing. Actually, yes.
what?
and then it explodes in someone's face or something like
Here's the thing.
like
Okay, the
very
can-
important,
okay.
like the
Go,
U.S. parent
You're talking about
president.
opening a can, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you said, like, okay, you open the can and it was shucking up and it sprays in your face. You go back and change
Yeah,
because now you got pop all over. It took you a minute or so. You go driving down the road, all of a sudden, you're 1 minute shy of an accident. If you had not had that can spray on you, you would have walked out the door and been involved in a multi-car pilot.
yeah, that was it.
You say that something that minor would never have a major effect, but it could.
It could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
And
if
here's
you
the thing: if you're thinking, "Oh, well, that accident might not have been a big thing," who knows who the next
No,
big,
I like
who
that.
the next big scientist is, or who the next,
yeah, what if you like trip? Whoa, there was a knife actually.
And us recording as long as we
Throwing.
could, we could all got hurt, you know, in some way, you know.
Yeah, if you trip, boom.
this slightly leads into a different direction if you take it slightly the other way, which is Final Destination.
Oh, I love that movie. I love that movie.
The
no
idea-
matter what.
I don't even
idea
want to
that
ride
somebody-
a roller coaster after
The idea that
watching
somebody with the premonition could cause that could cause an accident not to happen.
Yeah, and like the third one, they're trying to stop the accidents and they trying to look at the pictures and see what might happen to each other. Like who was in the front to back, and they were like, sword, dumbbell,
Oh,
The
goodness.
dumbbell. I don't want to get
oh
hit in
no,
that with
oh
a
no,
dumbbell.
Billy Bob, don't work out.
Yeah, wasn't it the like scene where all these like freaking things started like the shelf came down or whatever, and then all those weights like hit the like lady
No,
in the
I
head or
think he was like working out, and then it kind of exploded his head.
I don't like that.
And then I watched the roller coaster one where she
And you wonder why you woke up with a guy staring at your
So-
window. Huh?
and roller coaster came off, so she don't go on there. That means Dev is coming after her now. So she have to so and her friends came off with her. So
I do have
except
a-
for one, so that one died. So he doesn't have to worry about
Let's
death
see
no
roller
more.
I do have an explanation for how the Final Destination movies actually happened. It was a closed loop system that broke because everything that happened was supposed to happen, and
But
somebody
they
broke the
regretted.
loop. They broke the loop, and it tried to fix itself.
By killing everyone else.
Yeah, so they were like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you the most terrible ways we know because
It's
You have to die.
you have to die." And by
It's
the
a
way,
it's a crazy way of thinking about it, but yeah.
I didn't think about that because I did watch Final Destination,
Me
like all
too.
of them, and I hated the movies.
because how gory they were, or like,
No, not because of gory. I think it was a shitty, storyline. But
wow.
now that he explained it, I'm like, that actually kind of makes sense now. You ever like watch movies and you see someone get like killed or hurt, and you're just like, I'm not gonna be that guy. I'm not gonna make that same mistake.
But guess what? In Final Destination, there's multiple mistakes you can do, even little, like trip, boom. There might be like
Yeah.
a glass, a guy jump out the window and fall on top of you, and you're dead. Like there can be
In Final
any.
Destination, I don't think there's a way to not make a mistake.
Yeah, like
Oh, there isn't.
Yeah,
you can't
like-
win.
Here's the thing:
Like, if
is
you look-
the only person who managed to live at all.
Made every single mistake.
No, they hid themselves in a padded room,
yeah,
and even then, somebody ended up forcing their way to not purposely killing them, but allowing them to get killed by disrupting them in their padded cell.
I'm sticking with Sharknado. I like that scary movie.
Ugh,
yeah, because it's
Sharknado.
bro.
I have an absolute disdain for Sharknado. And honestly, I think most of it just has to do with your obsession with it.
Yeah,
Like, I
Dad.
feel like if you weren't obsessed with it, it would just be another movie.
Yeah.
But because you're obsessed with it, I have this disdain for it.
All right, I think we're gonna end today's episode.
Hold on, no,
Wait.
no, no.
Oh no!
Don't
No, I got
disturb
two
the
things.
time.
I got two things that we because no time travel talk could go without somebody talking about a paradox.
Paradox.
Now,
Let's say I jump in a tornado. Would that be a paradox? And I time travel through that way?
that's not a paradox. That's just a
Bruh.
weird loop. I want to talk about like the grandfather paradox. The idea, and it doesn't have to be grandfather, but that's the name of it because the idea of going back and killing your grandfather. What would happen if you went back in time and somehow stopped your birth? Like you went back and killed your grandfather,
You would
or
disappear.
you stopped your.
You would disappear.
Here's the thing:
Skull.
if you disappeared, you wouldn't exist to stop your grandfather.
So
from,
it's like a time loop. It'll keep on happening.
if you killed your grandfather, you wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
But if you wouldn't exist, you wouldn't be there to kill your grandfather.
So it's like a time loop. Like
It's a paradox. That's the whole point.
I watched this movie with Bruce Willis, and what happened was what they do is they go back in time and they kill people they don't want existing in the future.
Yeah.
And they sent the young version of him. What they would do, they would teleport them back in the past, and then they get assassinated by the young guys. And they teleported Bruce Willis to get assassinated by himself. They put like a bag over their head, and then they tell the person, to kill them, whatever. And I think that's kind of relevant to what you're saying, because
it's like
if you
Groundhog
die in
Day.
the future, it don't hurt the past, but the past, once you're gonna die that way in the future.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, but the question is what would actually happen? Because you cannot kill somebody that allows you to be born
Yeah, if you
without
don't,
not existing. And if you don't exist, you can't kill them.
it'll be like one of those Final Destination moments.
Huh? Wait.
There's also the bootstrap paradox.
Oh, what the hell is that?
It's a paradox which occurs when time, like when any event or an action happens that ultimately causes itself.
Explain a little bit simpler.
Well, I'll give you an example from,
All right,
from,
yeah.
from Doctor Who, because this is where I first learned about it. Because he was talking about like a time traveler going back and forth through time, and he loves Beethoven, right? But he goes to where Beethoven should exist, and he finds out that Beethoven doesn't.
Yeah.
So he takes all of his collections of Beethoven sheet music and gives it to the guy Ludwig, and Ludwig signs off on it. Now Ludwig von Beethoven never actually created this music, but in the future, it's accredited to Ludwig von Beethoven.
Ah, okay.
Hey,
So
Dad.
the question is, who created Beethoven's Fifth? Since Ludwig von Beethoven never created it, the time traveler never did either.
But they could have just used the name.
But who created the sheet music?
Oh shit.
Nobody. The time traveler just took it from a future point in time to the back to the past.
Do you think that one day that they will be able to build teleports?
I think teleportation is different than time travel.
But let's say you can teleport into different.
No, teleportation where you can teleport anywhere you want.
Even back in
It's-
time.
No.
I don't.
Time travel and teleportation is two different things.
Going back in
Research.
time is still time travel. But even then, I don't really see it happening because there's no real solid evidence of it ever happening.
Let's say they did build a teleport, right? And I just keep walking in back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Do you think it would,
There is a theory behind the idea of like a wormhole that transports you
Yes.
through space and time.
I just didn't know what the name
But
was.
theoretically, if you're trying to do that type of thing, you could end up going back in time via that method, but you would end up in a totally different area of space.
Yeah, you're gonna be in a 2D world.
Not 2D, but a different theoretically it's possible, but if you're going through a wormhole, you are transporting yourself through time and space. You might be able to go back in time, but you're going to end up in a different space too.
Yeah.
And
So,
you will die.
Sure, I could be thousands and thousands of years in the past, but I'll also be thousands and thousands of light years across the galaxy. You ain't ever getting back to Earth that way.
No. All right, we're gonna cut it here. Thank you for watching our podcast. We got
I'm Noah.
I'm CRollur.
Non Willy.
And remember to not change anything.
Apparently, you can't open like a fucking can or you're gonna die.
Final
Peace out.
destination.
Peace.
Peace.
I believe at some point you said you were going to be a helicopter pilot.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! Everyone believed that real quick. I told them I was going to school to be get my pilot license. Everyone believed it, and I told them that I failed because I had a lazy eye.